So, you know how history books are supposed to be full of facts? Turns out they're more like a group project, where one guy did all the work and the other dudes just made stuff up so they wouldn't get in trouble. From globe-trotting explorers to actual heads of state, history's biggest names have pulled some grade A whoppers, some harmless, some disastrous, and all of them worth a solid eye roll. Let's start with everyone's favorite medieval travel influencer, Marco Polo. This guy supposedly wandered all the way from Venice to China and back in the 13th century, which, cool, good for him. But his book, The Travels of Marco Polo, sounds less like a travel diary and more like a high schooler's last-minute book report on Asia, fueled entirely by rumors, fairy tales, and maybe a mild concussion. He describes unicorns, which were just rhinos, and entire cities made of gold, which were ... not real. Also, weirdly enough, he somehow forgot to mention the Great Wall of China, kinda like going to Paris and not mentioning the Eiffel Tower. Scholars now think Polo might have just copied stuff from other travelers, or heard stories secondhand, while chilling at the Silk Road equivalent of a highway rest stop. Fast forward a few centuries, and we've got George Washington, the OG I cannot tell a lie guy. Except, plot twist, he totally didn't say that. The whole cherry tree story, where little George fesses up after hacking a fruit tree with an axe, was fabricated by a guy named Mason Locke Weems, who wrote a super dramatized biography after Washington died. Basically, he wanted to sell copies and thought, you know what people love? Honest children and axe-based morality lessons. It worked. Everyone started thinking Washington was the poster boy for honesty. But really, it was just America's first successful piece of presidential fan fiction. Now let's talk about someone who very much could tell a lie, Richard Nixon. You might remember him from Watergate, or if you're under 30, as that one guy who keeps showing up in political thrillers looking vaguely suspicious. In 1972, some burglars broke into the Democratic National Committee office, and surprise, they were tied to Nixon's re-election campaign. Nixon went on TV, looked America in the eye, and basically said, "What? Me? New." Then tapes came out proving that yes, him, very much. Turns out Nixon had been recording everything in the White House, which is a baller move right up until it completely destroys your presidency. He became the first US president to resign, but hey, at least he didn't lie about a cherry tree. Speaking of presidential lying, you can't not mention Bill Clinton. In 1998, he famously told the American public, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." This is the kind of sentence that makes lawyers either very proud or very nervous. After months of legal tap dancing and public speculation, the evidence showed that yeah, he definitely did. The fallout led to Clinton being impeached by the House for perjury and obstruction of justice. He wasn't removed from office, but his legacy took a beating. And America got to learn way more about the definition of sexual relations than it ever wanted.